Good day everyone, I'm Margie Messina. So for today, I'm going to report the non-linguistic representation into research-based teaching and learning. So first, let us know what is non-linguistic representation. It is an imagery mode of representation. The imagery mode is expressed as mental, picture, and physical sensations such as smell, taste, touch, kinesthetic association, and sounds. Non-linguistic strategies require students to generate a representation of new information that does not rely on language. In the hundreds of action research projects that we have conducted with teachers throughout the years, this approach is one of the most commonly studied, especially across 129 studies in which teachers use non-linguistic strategies such as graphic organizers, sketch, and pictograph with one class but not with another class studying the same content. The average effect is a 17% point gain in student achievement. 5 points to keep in mind. As with all strategies, the overall effect on student achievement does not tell the whole story. We have identified 5 important characteristics of non-linguistic representation that teachers should consider. So first, non-linguistic representation came in many forms. These are many ways to represent information non-linguistically. These include graphic organizer, sketch, pictograph, concept map, dramatization, flowchart, and computerized simulation, to name a few. The type of representation selected is a function of the type of content address and the amount of time available. For example, a teacher might decide that it makes more sense for students to design a flowchart to describe the process of balancing an equation than to make a graphic organizer of the process or physically act the process out. So number 2, non-linguistic representations must identify crucial information. Non-linguistic representations that fail to focus on crucial information can have little or no positive effect on student learning. For example, to highlight important information in a story the class is reading, an elementary teacher might ask a student to draw a pictograph that illustrates the action. However, if a student draws a pictograph that represents the main character but not the central action that occurs among those characters, the representation will not add much to the student's understanding of the plot. Number 3, students should explain their non-linguistic representations. Creating a non-linguistic representation helps students defend their understanding because it requires them to think about the content in new ways. Asking students to explain their representations promotes even greater understanding. For example, the teacher might ask students in a middle school science class to create a non-linguistic representation of their current understanding of the concept of percolation, the movement and filtering of fluid through porous materials. One student might draw a picture, another might create a pictograph, and the third might generate a flowchart. Each of these representations will add to their creator's understanding. Number 4, non-linguistic representations can take a lot of time. One of the biggest drawbacks to non-linguistic representations is that they commonly require a great deal of time to construct and even more time to explain and defend. Consequently, when teachers plan for students to use non-linguistic representations, they should allow for enough time to get the full effect because these representations are time-consuming. Teachers should limit their use to crucial content. So last, number 5, students should revise their representation when necessary. Non-linguistic representation are a form of note, taking in that they represent a student's understanding of content at a specific point in time. If students have achieved this representation in their notebooks or post them on the bulletin board, they should review them for accuracy at a later date and alter them if needed. So for example, the science teacher focusing on percolation might post students non-linguistic representations. A few days later, the teacher might ask the students to revise their representation by correcting error or adding or deleting information. A fresh approach. Non-linguistic representations are one of many powerful techniques available to classroom teachers. When used well, they can have a positive effect on student achievement and provide diversity in the way that students process new information. So that's all. Thank you.